Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Nicholas Bishop and this is the pilot episode of the Sunday Drive. I figured there's no better way to kick off the pilot episode than to take a look at least in my eyes, two of the best German sports cars from the 1980s. On my right is a 1987 Porsche 944 Turbo, and on my left is a 1987 BMW 325i. Both of these have 5-speed manual transmissions. Both of these have inline engines. This one has a turbocharger, and both of them are equally awesome. So in this episode, we're going to hop into each of these and discover what makes them so good. Now, bear with me, I'm sorry about the extra wind noise and having to shout. My microphone has vanished, but for future episodes, I promise the sound quality will be better. Other than that, just going to wing it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but hope you stick around. It's going to be fun. So let's hop right in and check out the Porsche. So in the mid-70s, following the 914, Volkswagen Group wanted to do something with their own Halo sports car. It never happened. And Porsche had actually bought the design back and said, we need this design because we want to also make an entry-level sports car. And hence, in the mid-70s, the 924 was born. The Porsche purists hated it. They hated it because it didn't follow the design philosophy of rear or mid-engine, air-cooled, and rear-wheel drive. It wasn't a 911. Now fast forward to 1982, and Porsche wanted to capitalize on the 924 again to make somewhat more of a premium level sports coupe that was the 924, and they called it the 944. And the 944 also sold pretty well. 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, didn't really make that much power. But that was until 1985 when Porsche had decided to strap a turbocharger to it, and everything changed. Oh man, that's fun. So, the 944 Turbo debuted in 1985 with an average price, at least in 1987, which is what this one is, of $33,000, and I did the math, that's about $92,000 in today's money. Now, forgive me if my retelling of the account of the 944 family is kind of askew. I haven't really driven this car that much, and I'm still spending more time with it, doing a lot of research. So I'm sure that a lot of you will fix it in the comments, but to the best of my knowledge, that's all I know about it now. But the 944 Turbo is an absolute riot of car. I remember when I saw this car when I was little, I always used to think, man, that's not an actual Porsche, so the purists were right. And then my dad bought this car a few years ago. I drove it for the first time. I ended up loving it. So the story on this car goes, my mom actually, when she started working at a law firm in New York, she had gotten out of the farm life. And after her first year of working at said firm, she realized that she had enough money to buy a hot hatchback. And that hot hatchback was a 1986 944. It was a non-turbo, and it was not like this one. It didn't have the mag wheels, didn't have any of that stuff. It was just a basic run-of-the-mill 944. My parents had their 20th wedding anniversary back in 2018, and my dad had searched high and low for a 944, only he did his research, and he realized that the 944 Turbo is the car to buy, and it still is. They have a very strong market, and they've become extraordinarily popular with Porsche enthusiasts and those that are looking to get into the Porsche game without having to break the bank for a 911. We've kept it in the garage mainly, but we've driven it. It's always been a summer car. But unfortunately, just a few months ago, my dad passed away with complications of cancer, leaving the 944 to me. I see this car as one of the many things to remember him by, because he and I definitely bonded over this car. It's been fabulous. It is such a fun and engaging car. The interior in here reminds me of the cockpit of a fighter jet. It is so quintessentially 1980s, it is not even funny. It actually takes some balls to get the rear end to scoot out. It feels very firmly planted. It has near 50-50 weight distribution thanks to that transaxle setup, so it's basically a German Corvette. But it's such an enjoyable drive. In the years that I've driven this car, I was always terrified of driving it because it only has 14,000 miles on it. But then I grew accustomed to it, and I ended up absolutely loving it. The turbo boost is, you can't get enough of that. A 944 with this mileage, that's pretty hard to come by. But I love it. Now basically, this 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder, of course being an inline, is so incredibly smooth. But from what I've read, it's essentially the 5 liter V8 from the 928 cut in half. It only has 220 horsepower. Don't let that fool you. 220 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. But it only weighs some 3,500 pounds, maybe even less than that. What's even better about the 944, I remember seeing from the archives a Chevrolet commercial that showcased the handling capability of the Chevrolet C4 Corvette, and they claimed it could beat every car on the skid pad, and the 944 was the only one that the Corvette couldn't beat, and they didn't show it. Overall, this thing's awesome. Let's go ahead and hop into the E30. So, 1987 BMW 325i. This car is definitely one of my favorite BMWs of all time. The E30 is such a well-known retro BMW because up front you have an inline 6-cylinder that makes 168 horsepower. That's nowhere near enough to break it, and there's nowhere near enough to break the speed limit. And back behind that is a 5-speed manual transmission. While the bearings in this transmission could be replaced, it has stood the test of time. Countless rolling through the gears, but it still remains one of the most fun 5-speed boxes I have ever used. This is a very fun car because you can go have fun in it, you can bomb around in it without even having to break the speed limit. And if you get pulled over, the cop is going to be wondering probably, you know, this is a cool car. So it definitely still turns heads. And it sounds good too. It really feels like it pushes out more than 160 horsepower. I was surprised. I thought it was making at least 180, 190. But still, light car, small engine with a manual transmission equals quite a lot of fun. All three of my brothers, all three of us learned on this car. I remember learning on this car. Dad would take me up and around the driveway probably about 50 or 60 consecutive times until I mastered the art of stick shift, and this was the perfect car to do it in because, you know, if you had an issue with the clutch, you could probably find a clutch for pretty cheap. But it's also durable, and my God, is this car durable. It's not perfect by any means. The hood has some blemishing in the paint, and the steering makes you feel like you're driving a school bus at times. It likes to wander and jolt around a little bit, and the washer fluid motors have completely stopped working. There's a rear main seal leak, but there's oil under it, so there's oil in it, and it's not even really leaking that bad. It has so much character. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, and the odometer stopped working. It's completely frozen at 90,000 miles, so I have absolutely no idea how many miles it has on it now, but it doesn't really get driven that much during the year unless it's in the summer or the spring. But nonetheless, you really can't go wrong with an old BMW like this. Even the sounds, the sound of that inline 6-cylinder and the transmission whine, it sounds really good. And it's still ridiculously smooth. That's what I love about an inline 6-cylinder. It's just smooth. Oh, I love it. Even the smell in this car is old BMW leather, and the leather definitely has seen a lot. But it's held up really well. You know, also gives it character. I love this car. I'm happy it's still in the family. I'm happy that someone who's going to take care of it is actually taking it. So that makes me happy. That makes Dad happy too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We aim to upload new videos every Sunday, and I know that this is a new up-and-coming channel, so I definitely have to work a few things out, but I'm looking forward to making more content in the future, especially for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.